Hä? Jetzt blöd oder so. Hm? Ah, unverheiratet. Thomas.
Yes, a theft of plants
Diebstahl
took place here a few
Pflanzen.
days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget
Der
about the
Vorfall?
theft of the plants, miss. After the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
Would you happen to know
Der
why part of
geräumtes
the colonial
Kolonialhaus?
collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only.
Arbeiten Sie hier?
I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honour.
How well did you know Mr. Montague
Verhältnis
Dunn?
zum Direktor?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic, and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens
Wie sind Sie
are
hierher
locked.
gekommen?
Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is obvious.
Okay. Schauen wir uns hier mal ein bisschen um. Arbeitstisch.
These leather gloves are new and of good quality. They do not appear to have been used. Materials for college study. They belong to Albert.
Albert
This
Dunn.
place serves as Albert's office. A book about ships. Nothing at all to do with plants. From here, we are
Okay.
unable to see the interior of the colonial collection room.
Mhm. Watson? Was ist los? Okay, hier sind wir offensichtlich durch.
Locked.
Hammergeil.
Colonial collection. Nursery. Seed house.
Okay. Okay. Okay, jetzt wissen wir Bescheid. Zu den Belüftungsanlagen gerne nochmal gehen. Die da hinten sind.
A water tank. A ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings.
Okay. Ist auf jeden Fall von Interesse. Das Teil. Aber wie auch immer muss ich da reinschauen.
Locked.
Wieso ist das abgeschlossen, hä? Da
Locked.
verbirgt sich doch was, die Penner. Schau, abgeschlossen, ich verarschen.
Locked.
Ah, okay. Hat wieder was zum Sagen.
Mr. Hamish,
offensichtlich.
can you tell us
Schlüssel?
who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before, and now all of a sudden he's trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student
Albert
of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Oh yes, he forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
You mentioned a Miss White.
Right.
Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And why, he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Okay. Okay. Jetzt gehen wir mal zu dem einen und holen Schlüssel. Zum Sohn. Zum Albert.
Do you hold the keys to all of these
Türschlüssel?
locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Dankeschön. Jetzt gehen wir erstmal in das große Gewächshaus rein. Ich denke, dass wir da die fleischfressenden Pflanzen haben. Oh, ich zumindest.
These young
züchten wir
plants must be
Pflanzen.
delicate if they are kept in the nursery.
Anzuchtkasten. Okay. Arbeitstisch
A glass is
untersuchen.
It is empty. A thesis, written by Martin Hamish. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office.
Okay.
This poster is for an
Plakate
exhibition that Martin
untersuchen.
Hamish was directing, but it had nothing to do with Kew Gardens. This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition.
Was ist das? What the fuck?
It is a bust of Montague Dunn. I am curious if the marble that we found will... Here it is. The marble fragment that we found in the Colonial Collection Room is what they have in common.
Okay, also es hat ihn jemand K.O. geschlagen, dass er Staub angefangen
The
hat.
seeds of plant species are stored here.
Sieht aber gar nicht gut für unsere Täter aus. Ah, okay. Sind wir wieder hier. Dann gehen wir mal in das Bürogebäude rein, würde ich sagen. Zu guter Letzt.
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Experimentiertisch.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes. A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory.
Werkszylinder.
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
Okay.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report. Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments. A botany book.
Studienbuch untersuchen. Okay.
This student's book belongs to Albert.
Albert dann. Okay.
Such masks are
Schutzausrüstung.
generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals. Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here.